Auto Parts.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Nearly 2 million people with disabilities had trouble voting in the last presidential election. There are now online resources available to make voting more accessible through accessiblevoting.net, created by Microsoft and the Center for Civic Design. Here's Rylan Rogers, Disability Policy Director at Microsoft.
Voters can also easily find accessible voting options at Bing.com. By searching how to vote, you'll find voting options for each state, voting locations, or mail-in options. Our goal is to help Americans get the information they need to cast their vote.
Talk with the police chief, the mayor, and other local leaders about issues that concern you.
The Action Line with Bart Walker, weekdays at 8:10 on WGNS. We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in, everybody. It's a Wednesday on the Roundtable here on WGNS. Chip Walters with you from Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and the Blue Raider Network. And Brian, it feels like I was just talking less than 12 hours ago here, and you said it felt like you were just listening 12 hours ago, and the Blue Raiders got a nice win last night.
Yeah, I guess it was about 10:30. I flipped over and about around that time and knew the game was almost over, and listened to JP and Dick at the end of the game with the recap. So it's nice to get that conference win and keep going.
All right, we're getting down to the short rows here in high school football, and WGNS is always going to be your home for what's going on locally.
Well, Friday night we've got Riverdale at Blackman, and I think that game's going to go a long way to determine, when Riverdale plays Oakland at the end of the regular season. Is that going to be for a region championship? Does Blackman come in and try to spoil the case? And Blackman almost beat Oakland a few weeks ago, so we shall see. That should be a good game. Stewart's Creek and Smyrna play as well. Stewart's Creek has never beaten the Bulldogs, but they're favored this year.
Oh, wow. All right, so that's coming up, and you guys will be on what time on Friday?
6 o'clock with Murphy's matchups at 6:30, the pregame show, and kick off at 7.
All right, that's coming up this week in high school football, and of course it all leads to the playoffs, which will be beginning before you know it, and all of the seeding and all that will take place, and then of course it all winds up in Chattanooga at the Blue Cross Bowl. Today it's really going to be fun, I think, because I got a really good friend here with me, and a new friend, and Belinda Arender, who a lot of folks in this town know as a lender. And pull that a little closer if you don't mind.
Okay.
And Belinda with Primus Mortgage, and but Belinda has a side hustle, if you want to say, just like I am Mr. Side Hustle. But and you are a board member of Miss Tennessee.
That is correct. Yes.
And so with that, I got a call from you and said, "Hey, I've got a great guest for you," and it is. We should have a fanfare here. Miss Tennessee, Carley Vogel. How about that? Carley is here. She lives here in Murfreesboro and won the Miss Tennessee pageant. We're going to get into all of that and how all that happens. But Carley, thank you so much. You got up early and had to look all, Miss Tennessee like is all that goes with that, and you look great this morning.
Well, thank you. That's a huge part of the job, so thank you.
and those of you who have the opportunity to watch us either on Stitch or on YouTube or on Facebook, you can see that Carley is she outdid the rest of us today. So anyway,
I hate when I leave my crown at home.
Well, like I told Carley, you don't need a crown because you have that halo going all the time.
My husband says devil horns, but I'll take it.
Well, you have to have those to prop up the halo, right?
Course.
So that's the way I go. Carley, first of all, you are here in Murfreesboro. You're in school at Middle.
Yes.
And but it's interesting because we were just talking out in the lobby. Middle played Kennesaw State last night.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
So I'm born and raised in Georgia, but I moved to Murfreesboro about 3 years ago. So I claim to be a Tennessee girl.
Yeah.
But
you were in you grew up in Kennesaw,
born
didn't
and
you?
raised in Kennesaw. So unironically, MTSU played KSU last night.
So that's right. And your folks still live there?
Yes. So my mom, my granddad, and my stepdad all live in Kennesaw. So.
Yeah. Did you ever in your life, growing up as a little girl in Kennesaw, thinking, I'm going to have an opportunity to be Miss America?
You know, I think every little girl who competes in pageants or watches pageants on television hopes that it's the pinnacle of pageantry. You watch Miss USA or Miss America on television. Miss America for a very long time used to be in New Jersey, and they have statues on the Atlantic City Boardwalk, and it's just this whole experience. And so now we've moved to Orlando, Florida. We're very, very thankful for Disney, the Walt Disney World Theater, to be hosting us. And so we're really excited about all that. But I never in a million years, I competed in the Miss America organization for 10 years. I started when I was 14. I just turned 24 2 weeks ago, so it's barely new, but never in a million years did I think I'd be sitting here as a state title holder and now have the opportunity to go compete at Miss America. When I was getting crowned, and after that, I thought to myself in my head, I was like, okay, now I actually have to do this. Like, now I actually have to be a state title holder and serve for a year. And my story is a lot of other girls have the same story as mine that are competing at Miss America. A lot of these females have competed for years and years to be able to win their state title.
Yeah. And now, Belinda, take us back in your history of how you got involved in the pageant world.
So for 10 years, I directed for Miss Mississippi. When we moved from Mississippi to Nashville, I have boys, so I took some time off and we did the football thing and we did the baseball. Kid still plays baseball.
That's right.
But took some time off, raised the children. Once they were older, Miss America reached out. They were doing a transfer of the state board for Tennessee and asked if I would be a part of it. So at that point, my boys were pretty much self-sufficient, so I decided to be a part of it, and this is year 6.
Wow. And how much different or how similar is raising boys in travel baseball as opposed to girls who are in the pageant world? You know, there are a lot of similarities.
There's definitely a lot of similarities. You know, it's funny because now I'm on this side of it. So the moms will be sitting out in the audience and going, oh my God, she's going to do talent. I'm so nervous. And my son's a pitcher and I'm the same way. When he gets ready, when he goes to warm up in the bullpen, 9 times out of 10, I go to the bathroom and hide. It's sad, but I get so nervous. So there's still a lot of similarities. As far as from my side, being on this side of it is a whole lot easier than being on the mom side of things. Mm-hmm. Just because, it's more business-like over here, or when I'm traveling and watching my kid pitch, it's very personal.
Yeah. And your kids are really. He's a really good pitcher, and pitching in college, and hey, I mean, any of those that get to play in college,
living his dream.
Yeah, well, which is great,
yes.
and you couldn't be more happier about that. Now, speaking of, were you athletic as a kid? You appeared to have, possibilities of that.
Sort of. So when I was younger, probably like 8. I played soccer, basketball, and I also danced. And so I would change out of my basketball or soccer uniform and put on my dance clothes in the car. And my mom was finally like, all right, Carly, you've got to choose between, sports or dance. Which one do you like more? And so I chose dance. And in Georgia, we are really blessed with what are called magnet schools. And so I went to a performing arts magnet school in Georgia, completely free of cost. I got a 4-year education of musical theater training. And so I guess I consider dance a sport.
It's very athletic. I
Yes.
mean, I had a niece that was very much into dance, and and we couldn't go to Thanksgiving dinner without her flitting around the house, and all that kind of stuff. It never ended.
Yes, exactly. So I went to a performing arts high school, and right out of high school, I graduated high school in 2019. I went to a school in New Jersey that was 12 miles from New York City. It was called Montclair State University.
Right.
And about a year and a half in, COVID struck. And so it was really, really hard to maintain a musical theater degree within the midst of COVID. Just because if you know anything about theater, it's completely like hands-on in person. So we were entirely virtual.
There was no way to do that.
And paying full tuition. So I looked at my mom, I was like, you know, I'm depressed. I'm not enjoying my experience here. So I took a gap semester and transferred to MTSU. And unironically, my brother was here at MTSU. He just graduated last spring. So it was just, you know, a full circle kind of moment.
Yeah, so I mean, so your family's kind of found a second home here.
Yes, basically.
And so, what did I'm curious. What are you majoring in now, and what did your brother graduate in?
I'm majoring in music business, and he graduated with his music business degree. So,
are y'all going to be competing for jobs now down the road?
We want to do two entirely different things with the degree. I want to go in more of the performing artist side of things, and he wants to go into the copyright side of music. So. Funny enough, my brother and I are 6 months apart, so we're kind of like twins. We're both adopted. So my mom adopted me when she was 40, and then my brother was adopted about a year after that. So we share a really special bond in that aspect, and he always claims that I followed him to MTSU and claimed that I copied him for the degree that he has. But it's just special that we both get to be in that same field.
Well, and that is such a, you know, you talk about a degree and a program at MTSU that has such a rich history.
Oh yeah.
You know, my college classmate, Beverly Keel, is your dean of the College of Media and Entertainment. As a matter of fact, Beverly and I both, as students at Middle, worked here at this radio station.
Cool.
I was doing sports stuff, of course, and Beverly was writing news, and then she just, you know, completely has blown it up and is doing a great job, and you know, it's so interesting to see how that part of MTSU has evolved, because when I was in, it was, you know, it wasn't even a college of mass comm at the time. It was the Department of Mass Communications, and now, you know, it's been rebranded as the College of Media and Entertainment to figure it out. So on the performance side of things, what would, you know, you had that little girl dream many years ago about doing what you're doing right now. So what's the 20-something dream of where Carley wants to go?
So the ultimate goal, hopefully, is come January 5th. That's the night Miss America is crowned. Hopefully that will be my goal, and graduation in spring will be postponed. That's the goal. I think that's a pretty good excuse to postpone one semester of school. And then I'll serve for another year as Miss America if that's the case. If that doesn't happen, then I'll graduate in the spring, and I may stay in Murfreesboro. I may move to Nashville, but my goal is to pursue a career within the country music scene. So through my years at MTSU, I've learned how to market and brand myself within the country music scene through the music business program.
Yeah, and so when you first got to know her, Belinda, you doing what you have done in the pageant world, when you saw Carley, was there something that said she's one of those it girls?
Absolutely. It's always unique, especially because it was her first year in our organization. So we didn't know a whole lot about her, but just listening to her do her introduction where they tell a little bit about themselves, and then just the way she handled herself. And then we do a talent show at workshop. And when she did talent, we were like, okay. It's like the total package. So we were super excited to have her in our competition, and then at the end of the night, we do a week-long production and a week-long competition. At the end of the week, she had the crown.
Yeah, wow. And I want to go into that a little bit, because Jackson, Tennessee has become the home of the Miss Tennessee pageant. They've adopted it, and it's something. It's something really special down there, and it's obviously a goal. You know, like for high school basketball teams, they can't wait to get to the Murphy Center because that's where the pinnacle is. And for in the pageant world, it's all about getting to Jackson.
Well, we've moved from Jackson.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Where?
So this year we're in Johnson City.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we
when we blew that for me, Belinda.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I had to set you up a little bit because I could have stopped you, but I'm like, no. Let him dig the hole.
Yeah, that's right.
No. I'm kidding with you. But what we do is we move it around every 3 years, so that we can have other people that may not. Because it's 8 hours from Johnson City to Memphis.
Oh, here's a little piece of trivia for you.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yes.
You ready for this, Carly?
Sure.
It's closer. Well, you went to Montclair State.
Yes.
It's closer from Johnson City to Montclair State than it is Johnson City to Memphis.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
I believe it.
She's blown away.
wild.
Look at that.
I
Can you tell
believe
that?
it. So we wanted to have Miss Tennessee for all of Tennessee. So we're in our second year in Johnson City. We'll do a third year in Johnson City. At the end of that third year, we're hopeful to come to Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
So
it's been a long time since it's been in the mid-state, hasn't it?
to my knowledge, it was in Jackson for like 60 years.
Right.
So yes, we're excited to bring it and take it on the road so that other people get to experience it.
So, and I'm curious. I would assume if this was your second year in Johnson City, that the determination on where it's going to go after that third year.
We're negotiating contracts now.
Okay.
Yes, we're actually negotiating for would be 2027. Yeah, 2026. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so that's. Is there any chance it might be somewhere close to a town that we know very well?
I can tell you, we have met with people that can make that happen.
Oh. Well, so there's a little.
And the people that we met with were very intrigued with it and very, I would say, happy that we were going that pathway as our first path.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well,
without saying everything.
You were rather cryptic there.
Without revealing everything.
That's right. Now,
I would tell you that in 2 years, if you're in Murfreesboro, you're not going to have far to travel to get to go see Miss Tennessee.
Well, there you go.
How about
that? That's good news. So we're going to get a break here in just a minute, but one of the things we want to really dive into is what your platform is, and because I started reading it, I said, oh, this is something that I'm really close to, and want to be able to draw some awareness to what that is. So. We are going to take a break here on the Wednesday Roundtable. Carley Vogel, the reigning Miss Tennessee and future Miss America. She is here with us today. If you've got any questions or comments, you can text us at 615-893-1450, and we'll get those on with Carley as well. Back right after this.
Parents, you can help your child sharpen their basketball skills while also encouraging positive spiritual change with First Shot Basketball Skills Academy and Winter League. Sign-ups are happening now. Led by Coach Andy Herzer, this teaching league is designed to build strong foundations not just for athletics, but for life. If your child is between 5 and 14 years old, they can participate at Hooptown this winter. Don't wait, spots are filling up fast. For more information and to sign up, visit firstshottn.org. That's firstshottn.org.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Where is the best barbecue in town? In 1920, East Main. The best barbecue for miles around is in 1920, East Maine, you can buy it by the pound, sandwich, platter, or plate. No matter what you choose, it will taste great. You can come with a friend, by yourself, or with a date. Just Lick Pig Barbecue. Barbecue pork, beef, or chicken, Brunswick stew, great sides, lunch specials, down-home atmosphere, and they cater. Slick Pig Barbecue, it's the best.
Do you love to read?
Love to read.
Tell us about the library at Adams Place.
We have an amazing library. It's like a library at a big estate. You know, there are just so many books. You just come, pick out one you want, take it home, read it, take it back. It's just great.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111.
Adams Place on Memorial, across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
I've got pests, bees, buzzing rodents running all through my house. Ants chewing wood, and look, there's a mouse. I'm overrun with pests, but you're gonna be sure, safe and secure. It's the last rites for those pests. Call the best of the best to get rid of your pests.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated. Call us today. 893-7111.
Now, WGNS Good Neighbor Events. You hear Coach Andy Herzer on the radio, and if you have a youngster ages 5 to 14, they can benefit from the First Shot classes. That's right, they can sharpen their basketball skills while also making positive spiritual changes. Check their website. That's firstshottn.org. Maybe you're new to town and want to learn more about the community. Well, come on over to the one-room Ransom Schoolhouse every Saturday morning from 9 until noon. Members of the Rutherford County Historical Society are there, and they're talking local history. It's all free, including the coffee and donuts. That's Saturday morning from 9 until noon. Ransom School is at 717 North Academy Street, right here in Murfreesboro. The Little Shop of Horrors wraps up this weekend at the Art Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury. And they're having ghost tours Friday and Saturday night, 6 until 10 each night at the Sam Davis Home in Smyrna. Tickets are available upon arrival. None are sold in advance. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor Events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here for this afternoon with a high in the low 60s. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 35. Thursday, sunshine, high around 65 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 41.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. As a member of MTE, you have access to educational resources to help you tailor energy use to your lifestyle. Interested in electric vehicles? MTE offers incentives to learn about EVs and connect with others who share your interest.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Wednesday Roundtable, and glad to have you with us. We will got a lot more coming up for the rest of the month. Stephen Faust will be with us next week about his new book that is out and doing well on Amazon. And happy to have today Miss Tennessee, the reigning Miss Tennessee, Carley Vogel. She is a senior at MTSU, and she is getting ready for the Miss America pageant that'll be coming up. And Carley, I want to talk to you about your platform, or is that the right phraseology?
So we've evolved and changed just like any organization. Yeah. So it went from platform, and then it was social impact initiative, and now it's community service initiative. Okay. Which I feel like is more fitting.
Okay, yeah. Come in. And yours, you have a lot of passion about organ donors.
Yes.
And that's something that hits home with me. I had a family member that was the recipient, and had lots of years of life that she would not have had. So, what first got your attention about organ donation, and and the importance of it.
Of course. So at 12 years old, I was diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis, which is a rare and chronic liver disease. So over the course of a year, I was rapidly losing weight. I lost 45% of my muscle mass. I was covered yellow with jaundice, and my mom just knew something was wrong. So she took me in for a full blood panel by my pediatrician, and I think about a week later, my pediatrician called my mom, and it was spring break of 7th grade, and was like, "You need to rush Carley to the hospital right now. She's in complete liver failure." So I was rushed to Eggleston Children's Hospital in Atlanta, and I was on the transplant floor for about 2 weeks. And I was really fortunate that all of the medication that I was put on, my liver regained function, but that's kind of a miracle with my case and my disease. From what I understand, from what all the doctors told me, most people don't walk away with my disease without having to have a liver transplant. So now I'm partnered with Donate Life Tennessee to advocate for the over 100,000 Americans that are not as fortunate as I am.
Wow. I can tell you were very lucky.
Yes.
Because it is an unbelievable journey that people who are going through that, it's work. It's hard. But it is, it is such a gift that, that people who need that extra, need an organ, whatever it may be. It is such a gift when that happens, and the technology in the medical field has come so far.
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot easier, but and livers are one in particular. What you're talking about, there's certain things that don't have to have super specific matches, but
right.
Livers are one of those that do.
Yep. So fun fact, I'm also partnered with the American Liver Foundation, and so just like Miss America has evolved, my platform or community service initiative has evolved. For a really long time, it was Children's Miracle Network because I was a miracle child and a patient there, and then it was Love Your Liver, Love Yourself, which was a organization that I created. And so your liver is actually the only organ in your body that can regenerate itself. So you can do like partial liver transplants, and then that obviously that part that they take out will grow back. But there are so many cool things I think about organ donation, just like statistics that people aren't aware of.
Go freestyle on us, girl.
But like one donor can save up to 8 lives. So if you think about one person that there's potentially could save up to 8 lives, obviously depending on their case, depending on what organs are valuable and they can use. But I'm now obviously partnered with Donate Life Tennessee. We're really pushing to get in DMVs, get my face in DMVs to educate people on organ donation and get people to sign up, because people get scared when you talk about organ donation because unfortunately they think about dying. And so I want to really make sure people are aware that you don't have to pass away to be an organ donor. You can be a living donor. You can be a tissue donor. You can be a blood donor. There are so many ways that you can be an organ donor without unfortunately having to pass away.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it is part of the cycle of
100%.
life. And when that happens, but now, Belinda, when you see someone who is as passionate as she is about this, not everybody who has their own platform or community service initiative has actually lived it, and in this case, she certainly has.
Yeah, it's definitely a different level when it's something that they have personal experience with. Most of our girls have some type of personal tie to their CSI. However, it's never as deep as Carley's usually, because hers is actually part of her personal story. Sometimes it's from their mom or their aunt or a friend. Hers was hers. And it just makes it completely different.
Yeah, I would imagine that when you got into this and you had to choose something, I mean, you didn't have to think about it very long, did you?
No, at first. So I didn't even think it was like considered a platform when I was fresh out of the hospital. I think 2 weeks out of the hospital, the doctors and nurses in children's hospitals are unlike any people I've ever met in my whole life. They make a child's experience at a hospital incredible, obviously, depending on their circumstances. But I wanted to give back to the hospital that obviously saved my life. So I deemed it a tune in a balloon. And so I'd go to the dollar store, because you can't bring food to patients in children's hospitals. You can't bring candy or anything because of dietary restrictions and allergies. But we went to the dollar store and picked up probably like 10 balloons and went back up on the transplant floor. And I sang like Happy Birthday or Amazing Grace for these kids, but I just wanted to do something and give back to the kids that were in the position I was, because it's such a eerie place to be sometimes. But I cannot say enough good things about pediatric nurses and pediatric doctors, and they are just incredible people and truly know how to take care of children.
When you were going through that at the time, did you have any idea how serious it was, or did that kind of, because as a kid your parents want to insulate you as well as they can, and did you figure out later on, my gosh, that was something really, could have been really something?
Yeah, I think at first I genuinely had no clue. I just remember bawling, crying in our house. My mom was like, we've got to go to the emergency room. And I was like, I don't want to go. Obviously, that's every kid's worst nightmare, is being poked and prodded at a hospital. So I think what really set in for me is one night I woke, it was probably like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and my mom obviously stayed in the hospital with me. And I woke up, I was asleep, and my mom was bawling, crying to a nurse. Belinda's actually never heard this story, but she's bawling, crying to a nurse, like basically saying like, I don't know if my child's gonna live. And I was like, oh, like, as a 12-year-old, you don't think. And
you're kind of eavesdropping on this.
Yeah.
She didn't know you were hearing this.
No.
And
my mom now knows that I know about this, but like I said, we're very fortunate that my case was that I did not have to have a transplant.
Wow,
and so that was probably the moment that it sunk in. That was like, okay, I actually am very sick. But at 12 years old, when you're in a hospital and in that setting, I feel like it doesn't really click in for a child. I feel like now if I was in a hospital, I'd be like, okay, this is serious, just because I am older and more mature. But as a 12-year-old, I didn't know what was going on besides the fact that I was sick.
Did that really, did the motherly instinct in you, Belinda, come out when you heard her story?
It did. And, my husband has leukemia. So, I can remember when they diagnosed him. And, the doctor comes in, and we thought he had bronchitis. And the doctor goes, he has leukemia. And I'm going, okay, what does he really have?
Yeah.
And when they said, no, it's leukemia, it's just that moment of, I could just imagine, just going completely pale, and, that thought of what now? Especially from a mom's perspective, I can only imagine the fear that she probably had, and the, because naturally you're like, how do I fix this? Because as a mom, you want to fix everything, right? And you're helpless at that point.
Yeah. Did you find that once you got past that and were on a good health path, that you just kind of wanted to soak in life even more, because it was you finally had a realization that that was very close to having it taken away from you?
Yeah, I definitely have always said that I feel like I have a more mature sense of life than the average 24-year-old, just because I think I live every day as it could be my last. I've been very fortunate that my disease has been kept under control. I live an incredibly normal life, like I said, which is not necessarily the case with my disease. I feel very blessed that is my case. But from going back to my mom and her experience, my mom had a really hard time having kids. And so I was her 40th birthday gift. I was adopted. I was adopted at 22 hours old. And then my brother was adopted through foster care at a year old. So I can only imagine what went through her head when she thought she was going to lose her child after she was unable to have children. So just to share that. But I definitely have a different look on life, to say.
And I've got, we all have friends who have had children or a child that has gone through something, and I've got one friend in particular who had a child that, had a really hard time with something very early, not long after being born. And, it was almost as if he knew that this kid knew that he was very close to not being with us, because after that he just kind of soaked everything in, and that was kind of why I asked. And out of ignorance here, I'm going to ask with you because it was hepatitis. Mm-hmm. Is that something that stays with you, or you just control it, or
Yes.
it never goes away?
Yeah, so I technically will never go into remission. There's always the case that I could go back into liver failure. I could need a liver transplant. That always is a possibility that could happen. But I'm really thankful that I have very minimal scar tissue on my liver. I'm very closely monitored by my hepatologist and my doctors and my whole care team. But unfortunately, this will be with me for the remainder of my life.
Gotcha. Well, but you've found a way to live with it,
Yes.
and be obviously very, very productive in what you're doing. How old were you when you started? And obviously you had the dance part and all of that. What was your first pageant competition?
Oh, goodness. So in Cobb County, where I'm from in Georgia, there was a fundraiser pageant called the Little Miss Cobb County pageant, which was like a feeder pageant to Miss Cobb County, which is a preliminary to Miss Georgia. So essentially the same thing for Miss Tennessee. We have preliminary competitions. So my mom was a pageant coach at the time, and I begged her to compete. Throwback to when I was probably like 6 years old in kindergarten, my mom told me you had to be married to compete in pageants. My mom was a pageant girl herself, and so she wanted me to really hone that in as my own, and wanted me to like take the reins on it and say, Mom, I really want to do this, instead of following in her footsteps. Mm-hmm. And so a little girl came into class with a crown and sash for show and tell, and so Mom was busted, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I probably started competing in pageants, when I was like 13, 12, but my mom would only let me do they had a Cobb's Talented Teen and Cobb's Talented Preteen. She would only let me do the talent. She wouldn't let me do like the modeling pageant type of thing. And I never won the talent part of it. There are videos of me on it. It's on YouTube. It's horrible, but
she's came a very long way.
Yeah.
But I competed in the Little Miss Cobb Teen, I believe, was the competition, and I was the youngest girl to compete. Decided on the spot, like 40 minutes before that I was going to compete. A friend that owned a dress store bought me a dress, and I unironically won. And my mom was like, okay, I guess like she might be good at this.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're going to talk about in our last segment coming up, we're going to talk about her path to Miss Tennessee and what lies ahead, as Carley Vogel, the reigning Miss Tennessee, is our guest today here on the Roundtable. Stick with us.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PICKUP to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PICKUP for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PICKUP for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When it comes to your home, memories and sentimental value are priceless. Farrah Construction can remodel your home or can update your kitchen, bath, or other rooms. I'm Ron Hall. If you can dream it, Farrah Construction can turn it into reality. Call Farrah Construction at 615-893-6120. That's Farrah Construction. I'm Ron Hall. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstireprostn.com.
Fellas, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced personalized plans that include both lab testing and self-inject medication. Low T Center makes it easy, shipping directly to your door. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
If you're not waking up to the Wake Up Crew, here's what you've been missing.
But it's not like falling off Mount Everest or something.
Don't miss the Wake Up Crew with John, Brian, and Dalton.
That guy's still falling.
Weekday mornings from 6 until Swap and Shop. This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable, our final segment. Our guest today is the current Miss Tennessee, Carley Vogel. She will be heading toward Orlando and the Miss America pageant, and that'll be coming up. We're going to get all the details on that. But, she got the pageant bug by being Little Miss Cobb County in Georgia. And but once you got a bit older and could really kind of make your own decisions about it, I guess, what was it about being in pageants and that process that really kind of that kind of gave you got in your blood, I guess?
So I started competing in the Miss America organization at the age of 14, like I said.
And that was in Georgia still,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yes. And so like Miss Belinda has shared, this was my first year competing in Tennessee, so I'm incredibly humbled to have walked away with the title. I'm not a stranger to the Miss America organization, obviously. But one of the main reasons why I chose Miss America is because of the scholarship money, because of how they empower women through Miss America, and through this organization, I've placed close to $45,000 towards my college education. That's over the span of 10 years, though. So this organization is incredible. There are so many different assets that it has about competing. You learn so many incredible life skills. I feel like I'm so well equipped to walk into any room and talk to anybody because of the Miss America organization, because of the rigorous interviews that we have, and because of the constant stage presence that we also have to have as well. So I love it. Yeah, I can sit here and talk about the Miss America organization all day. And people like Belinda are volunteers, so we are incredibly grateful for them. My entire board is compiled of about 8 to 10 people. They don't get paid for this. They just do it because they love it. And so they put their personal money into this. They put their personal time into this. And so, people like Belinda are what Miss America is about. There are people who have been doing this for 50, 60, 70 years. They'll get special pins at Miss America for it, which is super cool. But I hope to, one day after this is over, join a board and be a helper.
What was it about it, Belinda, that gave you the itch that I want to continue to be part of this and give back to young ladies who are making their own way in life?
So I absolutely love, we are a scholarship organization. That is our basis.
And that's part of the name.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so what we do each year through our locals and our state competition, in Tennessee, we award over $100,000 in college tuition scholarships. That's actual true cash money that we write checks to MTSU for. We write checks to ETSU, wherever our girls that won the money may be going. But we also have in-kind. Our state winner also wins a 4-year presidential scholarship to the University of Alabama. They also have one to Troy University, University of West Virginia. So our in-kind is worth more than $1 million.
Okay.
Depending on where they choose, if they choose to take it. So from my perspective, I'm in mortgage lending, and student loans are a huge issue that I see that holds people back from home ownership. So not only does it hold them back from home ownership, there's other things that it does. Statistically, in the United States, women hold 2/3 of the student loan debt.
Wow.
So over 66% of the student loan debt is held by women. Now, statistically, less than 24 months ago, studies showed women still earn 85 cents on the dollar to their male counterparts. So not only do we carry more student loan debt, we're having to work more to make the same, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because we're still not at that economical level where we're making the same as men make.
Yeah.
So from our perspective, this is something that really helps fill that gap to help bring in scholarships. So if you have a person that can go into life debt-free and they have their education, I mean, they're just set up so much better than someone that's walking in and now they have to make this amount of money because they have this amount of student debt that they have to pay every month. So if we can help fill that gap, what a difference we're making.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the point I want to make, is because somebody says, "Oh, Carley, you want a beauty pageant." You know, that's doing you a disservice, and because of all that goes into it. And that, again, that's the point I was wanted to make with that. Talk about your week in Johnson City, how that kind of played out, and leading up to the final night when you were crowned Miss Tennessee.
Oh, Lord. So we were there for about 10 days.
Okay.
It was a whirlwind experience. It was so much fun. We did so many different fun sponsor visits within Johnson City. Another huge part of the Miss America organization is obviously sponsors, because this is a scholarship organization. We're a nonprofit. It's composed of obviously volunteers and sponsors that give their services and their time. And so it was just an incredible week. I genuinely, if you watched my crowning video, I was not expecting to win whatsoever. So, I mean...
Did you shake and lose it and cry?
Yeah.
Okay.
You must see her crowning video.
My best friend was in the audience, and she told me afterwards, she said, I was sitting there thinking, Carley does not want to see what she looks like right now, because I was ugly crying. Our CEO, Mr. Joe, handed me a handkerchief because I was crying so bad. Oh, goodness. But no, it was so much fun. A lot of anxiety and a lot of nerves come with it, just because everybody tells you to not put pressure on yourself, but in that environment, I mean, you get that with sports.
Right.
But it's hard not to.
Right.
And so I'm standing there with Savannah, who was my first runner-up, and just thinking, all right, it's one of us, and here we are. And everybody says you black out when they call your name, and they're right. I don't really remember a lot of it. I've gone back and watched my video, and I'm like...
That's a good thing it's on video, right?
Yeah.
So kind of give folks an idea, because it's a multi-night event.
Yes.
And so what happens, it's not just one night you show up and boom, you're Miss Tennessee. You've got to go through the rigors of different types of competition each night. So kind of tell us what that's like.
Sure. So we check in, and then from check-in, we do sponsor visits, we do rehearsals, and then sort of about halfway through the week, we do preliminary competition. So we compete in fitness, which is 10% of your score, evening gown, which is also 10% of your score, on-stage question, which is 15% of your score, personal interview, which you can be asked political questions, you can be asked about your community service initiative. They can ask you just about whatever they feel they want to. And then we have talent as well. And so talent is my favorite part of competition. So we have 3 nights of preliminaries, and then one of those nights is just a talent night. So everybody does talent. So it's kind of like a big talent show. It's a lot of fun.
And I would imagine that's where the audience really comes in. That's when they want to see.
Yes.
And but so what was your obviously you sang.
Yes.
And what was your selection?
I sang Climb Every Mountain from The Sound of Music. So that's also what I'll be singing at Miss America.
Gotcha. So
I'm very excited about that. That song holds a lot of meaning to me. I think that it's all about like my journey and my personal experiences, not only within the Miss America organization, but just life, period. And so I think that it has a beautiful message, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it.
Gotcha. So, okay, that's what you're going to be singing.
Yes.
I want to know what is what is on your Spotify rotation? What do you
Lord.
What do you listen to? Because you want to be in the music business and want to perform. Who are the people that inspire you from a performance level?
So many. Everybody tries to tell me to pick my favorite artist. I love country music, obviously. My favorite, Belinda does not, so we must culture her here.
I'm the worst Nashvilleian. I do not like country music. Sorry.
But my favorite country artist of all time is Chris Stapleton. I got to see him in concert when he played at Bridgestone. I just think he's an incredible lyricist. I think he just... I can't say enough great things about the man. Like, I've never met him, obviously, but he's an incredible composer. He is an incredible musician. I obviously love Lainey Wilson, Megan Maroney. These are all very more popular female country artists. Ella Langley, she's kind of on the up and coming. I don't just listen to country. I do listen to some pop, but honestly, it's mostly a lot of country.
Do you listen to anything like from Belinda and Ma's era?
Oh, sure. Oh, my gosh, yeah. So
what are you talking about, Chip? I'm much younger than you.
That's right.
So in high school, I was a part of a group called Company, which is essentially like show choir on steroids. And so we used to dance. We used to have different sections of our show. So it was about an hour-and-a-half show that we would run with no intermission. And so there would be like a 40 section of music, a 50 section, a 60 section, a 70 section, and then so on and so on.
Come on now.
I'm Mr. Yacht Rock, so that's me. I went and saw what was it, Friday night? Went and saw ELO, which was unbelievable. They were so good. But anyway, okay, now so you get down, you get through and onto the final night. So what happens on the final night, and as it gets cut down, and like you said, there you are. It's down to just you and one other.
Yeah.
Was it? Was there? How much was there tension, or was it just, hey, I'm along for the ride here, and let's see what happens?
Yeah, honestly, so one of the most incredible things about the Miss America organization are the women that compete within the organization. Every single woman that I have met through this journey, through competing in Tennessee for the very first time, has been incredibly kind, incredibly just so sweet to me, and they're just very just overjoyed and happy that I won, which is just so
well,
sweet.
See, you're breaking a stereotype right there, because people say, well, they're all just real catty and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, my goodness,
but not the case.
I had women come up to me after the crown was placed on my head and be like, we are so incredibly excited. You're going to be an incredible representative. We can't wait for you to go to Miss America. There are photos of this where the girls are talking to me and I'm crying and laughing. But that's one of the incredible parts about Miss America. It's kind of like a big sorority.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have different classes. So my class of women are just incredible people. I competed against 36 women who were more than capable to walk away with this job. And so I'm really honored that the judges chose me to.
And what was the title you held that put you into the Miss Tennessee pageant?
I was Miss Music City.
Miss Music City, okay.
Yes.
Now, there are a few that have some really strange names. And I know there's...
So most of there used to be.
Okay.
We used to have Miss Banana Pudding Festival.
There you go.
I love
it. But there used to. Okay, so
I know there's Miss MTSU. Is there still Miss?
They don't have Miss MTSU, but we're working on that.
Okay, and there was
Miss Blue Raider.
Okay, right.
Yep.
Right.
But we had there used to be was it
Miss Banana Pudding? That's my girl right there.
There's like Malin Plow and Mule or something. I mean, there was some really, really like odd.
Yeah. Or there's like the Miss Humboldt Strawberry Festival and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. No, but most of ours are cities or
Miss Scenic City.
Miss Music City, Miss Capital City. We have Miss Blue and Gold, which is out of Johnson City. So Miss East Tennessee, Miss West Tennessee, Miss Middle Tennessee, Miss Nashville.
I went to college with two Miss Tennessee. Shelley Mangrum.
Okay.
She won it. We called her Susie. Then she became Shelley when she got on television, and Leah Hewlin.
Okay, yeah, she's from Murfreesboro.
Right, yeah,
yes.
and Leah still lives here, and so those were two Miss Tennessees I knew, and Kelly Culbreth here in town. She was second or third runner-up in Miss Tennessee, and so anyway, she.
Well, now you know three.
So now all three. So what is the timetable for you going to Orlando, and when is the Miss America competition?
So I fly out December 28th, and we check in the next day, and the Miss America's crowned January 5th. So we're going to have the biggest New Year's celebration at Miss America, which is crazy.
Wow.
I didn't think that I'd be celebrating New Year's at Miss America, but here we are. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're there again for about roughly 10 days. I probably won't get a lot of sleep, but it'll be an incredible experience.
Who's hosting? Is Ryan Seacrest probably? Or?
They haven't announced yet.
Oh, they haven't.
No, but I do have a fun fact for you.
Okay,
I know
is it about Burt Parks and the boardwalk in Atlantic City?
No, but it's sports related.
Okay.
So statistically, you are more likely to have a son play in the Super Bowl than a daughter be able to compete at Miss America.
Wow. It is an elite club.
How about that?
So around New Year's, everybody's off work then, and they're going to be doing all that. So January 5th is the final night.
Yes, sir.
And so watch for it on television. Carley will be there, and we're all going to be cheering for you.
Thank you.
And representing MTSU, representing Murfreesboro, the Mid-State, and it's going to be great. And I know between now and then, any idea how many personal appearances you're going to be making across the state?
Oh my Lord! I mean, probably by the end of my year, I'll travel about 50 to 70,000 miles across the state of Tennessee.
We have a big state.
Yeah. So that's one of the main jobs, is being able to be on the road, being able to travel. So I pretty much do 2 to 3 appearances a week. It just depends.
She did Ruthie's last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the cool perks about the job is that I get to travel the state of Tennessee. I get to see the beautiful sights of Tennessee. So 2 weeks ago I was in Johnson City, and then I went to Knoxville, and then I went to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and then I came back to Murfreesboro. So
wow. Well, and that, just by knowing what your schedule like that is, it means a whole lot more, and really appreciate you getting up and
oh my gosh, of course.
and prettying up this morning to be here, and all of that. It just means an awful lot. So, and hope that folks are introduced to you today, and we'll kind of have a little bit invested in you when it comes time to watch Miss America. So
thank you.
That's going to be exciting. Belinda,
sir.
Thank you so much for helping set this up, because we're excited for Carley, and it's going to be great.
Well, we're appreciative of you. And
there she is. So there we go.
I'm surprised you know that Burt Parks sings that.
That's right. Exactly. Well, I'm old. So just there.
I was sitting over here
I'll
thinking,
just leave
good
it there.
for you.
All right. Brian Barrett is coming up next. I want to thank Carley Vogel and Belinda Arender for being here with us. Carley is the reigning Miss Tennessee. Cheer on at the Miss America Scholarship Pageant coming up on January the 5th. Have a great day. It's beautiful outside today, folks. Go enjoy it, and be sure to keep it right here on the Big G, WGNS.